Look around your home tonight. Every glowing light bulb, every humming refrigerator, and every spinning electric motor operates on a principle discovered by exactly one person. Yet the man responsible for our electrified reality had no money, no social connections, and no formal academic background. Michael Faraday was born in 1791 into severe poverty in South London. His father was a local blacksmith, and for much of Michael's childhood, the family struggled to secure regular meals. Faraday never attended a proper school. He received only the basic instruction required to read and write. In the 18th century, science was a pursuit reserved for the landed gentry. For a blacksmith's son, the laboratory door was effectively locked. At 14, economic necessity forced Faraday into an apprenticeship with a local bookbinder. While he worked the leather and glue, he spent his days reading the volumes on his bench, focusing specifically on chemistry and electricity. For 7 years, the bookshop served as his laboratory. He began conducting his own crude experiments in the back room, using copper wire and scrap metal. His years at the workbench provided the technical literacy that allowed a blacksmith's son to compete with the era's greatest scientific minds. Faraday's transition into professional science began when he attended a lecture series by the famous chemist Sir Humphry Davy. Faraday took meticulous notes, bound them into a polished 300-page volume, and sent it to Davy as a demonstration of his interest. Davy was impressed by the precision. In 1813, he hired Faraday as a laboratory assistant at the Royal Institution. He had breached the walls of the scientific establishment through sheer initiative and the technical skill he learned in the bookbindery. Faraday lacked a formal mathematical background. To solve a problem, he had to rely on his visual intuition and physical models. In 1831, he proved that moving a magnet through a coil of wire generates a measurable electric current, a process called electromagnetic induction. This discovery is why electricity now flows into our cities. Induction is the mechanism behind every modern power plant generator. Faraday then demonstrated the reverse, using electricity and magnets to create mechanical motion. He had built the world's first electric motor. He went on to establish the laws of electrolysis and isolated the compound benzene, proving himself one of history's most productive experimentalists. He also developed the Faraday cage, a metal enclosure that prevents external electrical fields from affecting anything inside. Because he couldn't write the equations, he had to build the hardware that remains the physical infrastructure of modern engineering. Faraday developed the physical systems that would eventually light every city on Earth, yet he showed no interest in personal wealth or social rank. He was a member of the Sandemonians, a small Christian sect that valued manual labor and rejected the pursuit of earthly power. He twice turned down the presidency of the Royal Society and declined a British knighthood, choosing to remain plain Michael Faraday until the end of his life. He also refused to help the British government develop chemical weapons for the Crimean War, maintaining a strict ethical boundary for his research. Faraday died in 1867. His life remains evidence that high-level scientific discovery doesn't require an elite pedigree, only enough curiosity to read every book on the shelf and the patience to test every wire by hand.